Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new product review, a new unboxing. I know that this has been launched a while ago, but I did not have the opportunity to have it on my hands until now, and it's when I'm doing this review of the product. If you already have seen others, this is more for people in future that is interested in what you can find in the book, and I like to do it for completeness and to give my point of view of the different articles the Game Workshop is putting out there. So I also bought the cards because it's one of my favorite armies, or one of the armies that I play. When I play the army, I like to have the cards with me. So what we have here is first we have the powers of the paint on cards. So you can have it next to your table and you don't need to look on the book what they do. Then we have the stratagems. Of course here we don't have psychic power, so we will not have these cards, but we have all the stratagems on cards. Again, I like to have the cards because then you can choose what stratagems are you going to use. Normally there are stratagems that you will never use in the battle, so you can remove them from the list and just have very handy the ones that you would like to use. And then the main reason why I take them is because I like to have the tactical objectives, because I like to play milestone missions. That is my favorite type of missions in Warhammer 40K. I know that maybe are not the most balanced ones, but I really enjoy all these creating all these how it's called this. I find it more narrative and more interesting that you are forced to take different objectives every turn. So here we have the book. Okay, it's quite a thick one. In that case, we are talking about 128 pages of book, so it's not a small codex. Okay, there is quite a bit, but there are no new units versus what we have before. But there are new rules, but not new units. So as usual, we have this normal structure we have on all the codexes. We have the fluff, showcase, and rules. This is always the structure we have on all these codexes of 8th edition, and also on other editions. So all combined with very nice artwork. So just spend a little bit of time to look at this type of artwork. So the artwork they are putting on these books is really amazing. You will see that all the pages will have are really inspired on the Dark Elder. You will see this type of frame and all different type of small artwork that is putting you in the atmosphere of the army. So all artwork, this I think was the cover of one of the old codex, if I'm not wrong. Maybe, and here we have. It's a pity that this cannot be seen well. I will not force the opening. So we have the origins of the Dark Elder. This is I'm quite familiar with the fluff. I read quite all the previous codexes, so here I'm quite familiar with the fluff as well. So we have the origin of the Dark City, then we have the Cabals of Komorak, and we have the Cabal hierarchy. I think this is new. I don't remember to have seen organic one like that before. Organization of the army. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's quite new. And then we have the different cabals, and this is very interesting to have inspiration on the paint job, unless you have your own paint job. But I always find interesting that you can see some artwork and to know how different type of color schemes or ideas for paint jobs. Okay. Here we have then the witch cults, and we also have how they are organized in a different way. And we will have we start with the cult of the strife, where we have Lilith is the boss of the cult of the strife. But then we also have other cults, the cursed blade and the red grief. And we have here all the different witch cults. Okay. As usual, although they are called witches, normally all these the witch cult, the cabals, all are mix of female and male soldiers. Then we have the homunculi, and again the completely different organization. The homunculi are the guys that are dedicated to elongate the life of the Dark Elder. And here we have how they are organized as well. Not how they are organized, sorry, the different type of what's called this, the covens, different covens and different color schemes for the covens as well. So as well, quite interesting to see. Okay, and then we have the real space raids and how they are mixing cabal, witch, cult, and covens all together. And then they have the mercenaries, and then in the mercenaries we have the incubi, the scourges, the mandrakes, and all other stuff. So, because to be fair, as the cabals, there are some units that are not really in any of these sub-factions or sub-cults, or how you want to call it. We have then the map of the galaxy with the main Imperium planets. We have where all the main cults, cabals are positioned at this moment after the cicatrix malediction. So these have been changed maybe, because before they used to be only in Comorak, but all the things have been shaken with the cicatrix. Again, look, I love these pieces of artwork, they are really an inspiration. We have then the exploration of the different units, starting with the Archon, Incubi, and the Vazar, and we have, I will jump here so you will have all the different explanations of the units, and these they are from the cult or from the coven and so on. So I will not pay too much detail on this. All the units, as you can see, they will have some artwork to show you how the unit looks like, because we are not going to see this later on. Here we have some showcase. Okay, again, different ways, although we have seen different color schemes before, it's also interesting to see how they execute that on the miniatures, so you can have ideas of different ways to paint the miniatures. Of course, the main cults and the main, what's called this, I don't know the name, and the new, sorry for that, and the new cabal, and the main cabals and the main cults, we will have more representation on this showcase than others. Okay, so here we have how to start your army, and we go to the rules. And here, this is the one army that is maybe the most complex on rules, because in the same detachment you can have witch cult, you can have coven, and you can have cabals. Okay, depending if you are cabal or witch cult or homunculus, then you will have different rules, and then you have all the power of the pain, but you have to choose. You have to choose a cabal, you have to choose a witch cult, and you have to choose a homunculus coven if you use the 3 types of unit. And you will see, for example, the Archon is only cabal, but then this is only cult because an only cult of strife. And if you do Dvadjar, is a mercenary and is not counting for any of these, and they will have their own rules. So, but you don't lose the detachment type of thing if you play. So you can mix cabal and witch cults here. So you have here. So let me just really look at the rule, because for me this is the most interesting. So most Drukhari in the battlefield belong to either a cabal, witch cult, or a homunculus coven. Some of the sheets specify what cabal, cult, or homunculus coven the unit is drawn from. Other Drukhari datasheets will have cabal, witch cult, or homunculus coven. You include each unit in your army. You must nominate which cabal, which cult, or which homunculus coven the unit is from. You then simply replace cabal, witch cult, and homunculus coven by the keyword. In every instance on that unit datasheet with the same name you choose. So you can use any of the cabals, witch cults, or homunculus covens you have read about, or make your own. Okay, and then abilities. I'll come to the old book, and then the ability from the pain. And then you gain all the different abilities. All your units are. So throughout the section you will come across keywords, brackets. These are the shortlines of the keywords I'm choosing. So okay, so you can have different cabal schools or homunculus. Okay, let's go back. So we have the Archon, the Dvadzar, the Leather Head Sperax. So we have the Succubus, the Orient Rackar, the homunculus, and then we go on tubes. We have the Cavalry Warriors and the Witches, and the Rags. So we have we have one coven, one cabal, and one witch cult. And then we have as the elite the Lamea, Medusae. This used to be before on the HQs, now are on the elite, the Sleeve, the Urbul. And then we have the Incubi Mandrakes as well on the elite. Sorry, David's Master and the Codex. We don't have any more the unit who was called this. We don't have anymore the unit of Trueborn or the unit of Hecatrix. We don't have this anymore. Okay. Then we have in fast attack we have the Beast, and here we have the Claw Fanes, Chimerae and Razor Flocks. And then we have the Reavers and the Aliens. And the Aliens are Witch Cult and the Reavers are also Witch Cult. But the Scourges, as you can see, are only Eldari Drukhari. They are not from any of the cults. Okay, these are the cult mercenaries. Talos, the Scourges are fast attack as well. Then we have in heavy support Talos, Kronos, Ravager, and then the Rider and Venom as a vehicles, as a transports, and two flyers, the Razor Wing Jet Fighter and the Void and the Raven, Void and Raven Bomber. The armory, and the thing I want to check is how you build the detachments. So let me go look at the units. Match play rules. If you're using the Battleforge army in a match play game, the following rules apply. Court of the Archon. You can include Cabal, Court of the Archon models in a detachment that also include one or more Cabal Archons. No, these are Drukhari Beasts. Let me see here, Drukhari units, Drukhari obsessions. If you are, so let me see here, let's see the obsessions. If your army is Battleforge, all Cabal, Witch Cult and Homunculus Coven units in the Drukhari detachment gain Drukhari obsession as long as every of the detachment is from the same Cabal, Witch Cult or Homunculus. So you can have, in your detachment you can have a mix. You can, so you will have the Strife, and then also you can take, for example, one Cabal obsession for all the Cabal units. You will have one Witch Cult obsession for all the Witch cult units, and then you will have one Homunculus obsession for each coven from the same coven. And this is the way to work. So you will have 3 different rules depending if you are Cabal, Witch Cult or Coven. At the end, it's not more than those. It's a little bit more complex than having a single room that will cross over your detachment. Okay, and it's for detachment. So on top you can then have another detachment with different Witch Cult obsessions and different it can drive you mad. So I don't think you want to mix that much, but it is up to everybody. Okay. And here we have, I will not go through the session, so we have here all the different rules. Then we have the stratagems, and then the stratagems we have to be careful. Some of them are just generic Drukhari, some of them will be cult, and some of them will be Cabal. For example, this is Cabal of the Obsidian stratagem. Then we have Cult of the Red Grief. So we will have some that are just for some cults or for some Cabals. Okay. And then we have the artifacts, and not everybody can take all the artifacts. Some are dedicated to some Cabals or some cults. Okay, and here we have the Warlord traits, and then we have the Warlord traits for each Cabal and each Witch Cult and each Coven. Not each, but some of them. Okay. Of course, if you use the Cabal from Archon as Dubile, that is the black hair, you will have rules for everybody. And if you use the Cabal of the Witch Cult of the Strife, you will have as well rules for the Warlord trait. Then we have here the generic Warlord traits. Okay. And at the end we have the points. So no new units, just more expansion on the different rules, on the different rules for Cabals, and more explanation on the fluff. So really a nice book to have if you are collecting that Eldar or Eldar, so because you can use as well as them as a line. And that's all for now. So this is all what I wanted to share on this video. I hope you find this review or look through the book interesting. Please let me know what do you think, and apologies that I cannot do always this the day of the launch, but I do when I can do it, and I like anyway, even if it's a little bit late, to do it as a completeness and to have all the reviews on this channel as well. So that's all for now. I hope you have liked this review. I hope you have liked this video. Please leave in the comments below, let me know what do you think, and as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.